welcome back to the Empty Kalamazoo tale, which only means one thing. Welcome back to another model unboxing video. Today we will be unboxing the Phoenix models, 1 to 400 scale, Delta A330-900 Neo. So you may be wondering why I got this one over the Gemini Jets one, and that is because this one was cheaper on the aircraft model store, and I bought it from the aircraft model store in the first place because I had a credit with them, and this plane was available, and I needed Delta A330-900 Neo. Everyone else is getting the Gemini Jet one, so I figured I might as well go for the competition, and so we can do a comparison here with the Phoenix models one, because I have not seen an unboxing of this model yet. So I figured, why not have a little comparison here? I mean, obviously I don't have the Gemini Jets one to directly compare. I suppose, if you give me a second here, I could get my Team USA livery. We can do that. We can do that after we get it unboxed. But since most people got the Gemini Jets one, I figured I might as well get the Phoenix models one, just to be a little bit different here, so we can offer something a little new. But yeah, I kind of just gave you a tour of the box. It is a pretty nice box, I must say. The box art looks pretty nice. I guess Phoenix didn't get the licensing, and Delta is pretty picky about that. So there are no Phoenix logos on the box, but of course we do have the registration on the little flap there, which is a thing that Phoenix likes to do. I think it's pretty cool, honestly. So we'll get that out of there, and now we'll get this out of the plastic, and hopefully it's all okay. They didn't wrap it particularly well, if I do say so myself. It was a little bit loosely wrapped, but it should be all okay in here, and it looks pretty nice. I can already tell the blue on this is a lot brighter than the Gemini Jets. Even the NG one, it's brighter than the NG blue, which is quite impressive. That might not be the most realistic. If you can see this blue color is very bright. Oh, okay, I thought there was something wrong with the winglet. I think I was just looking at it wrong. This looks really sharply bent. I don't know if it is that much bent in real life, but I think the model's good. I'm not seeing any breakages so far. So yeah, we'll get into our review here. We'll actually zoom in a little bit closer here, go a little bit more in detail. So you have our cockpit windows up here with the raccoon mask around them, which looks pretty cool. Has the SkyTeam logo right there. Here is our L1 door and decal there with whatever logos they have. Then here we have our nose gear with numbers 3421, which I think that's what that is. Or the 3 may not be. The 421 is what the registration is. I'm not sure what the 3 means there. And then there's, I think that's E-tops down there. I can't really read that. Then we, of course, have our nose gear, which does roll very well. And it is like very metallic, which is something that Phoenix likes to do that no one else really does, is they make the landing gear very metallic, very kind of silver like that, which is pretty cool. I don't know if it's the most realistic, but at least that is like something that you can identify, you know, Phoenix is different for having that. And then here we have our Delta widget and the Delta titles right here above the first class section, which looks very nice right there. I did say the blue looked a little bit too bright. I think that might be the case, but you know, it still works. And here we also have our first antenna up there on the top. Moving back here, we have our L2 door. Here is our Neo engine, which looks very nicely modeled right there. We also have our main gear down there, and we'll check if they tilt or not. Once again, I'm doing these ever since I got this microphone, I'm doing these unboxings one-handed, and they do not tilt. So we can't have any butter landings with this, unfortunately. And I think the Gemini Jets one definitely tilted, so that is a drawback of this one. Although now after that, I will give an upside to this model, and that is that the beacon up here is actually molded. It's not like on the Aviation 400 one where they actually put a little like beacon in there, but it is molded on the mold, and there is, you know, the beacon on top. So that is pretty cool. You can, you know, run your finger over it and you'll feel it. So that's pretty nice. And of course we have all the flaps, slats, ailerons, you know, all that good stuff is molded onto the wings. And we also have our winglet there, which I did say looks quite a bit more swept, I guess. A little bit tighter of an angle than what I thought it was in real life, but that might just be the Gemini Jets mold, because that's the only one that I have so far, which is really It doesn't bend a whole lot, but it looks very good. I'll have to look at an image of an actual Delta A330-900 Neo to actually get a good grasp of what's more realistic or not. But I think they're both decent molds. I just like I said, I wanted to try out a Phoenix 330 mold, and it just adds some more variety. And Gemini's their mold isn't too hot, if I'm being totally honest. So this gives a little more variety, like I said. But back here we have the L3 door. We have our SATCOM dome up there, antenna on the bottom, antenna on the top. And we have another antenna back here. American flag, our registration is November 421 Delta X-ray. And then, of course, we have the beautiful Delta widget on the tail. And the empennage, of course, modeled very well. And then we also have our APU details and stuff back here. So yeah, that's pretty much it for this model. Glad to have it into the collection. Also, we have the Delta belly. I forgot to mention that, but you saw it before. Delta belly, and we also have a stand hole down there. And the bottom beacon is not molded like it is up here. But that's not a big deal in my opinion. I mean, on most models, it isn't modeled in at all. So I think the model looks pretty nice. Like I said, the color might be a little bit too bright, but that is not really a big deal in my opinion. I think it is some pretty good competition for Gemini in terms of the mold itself. I think the aerials and all that are molded better on the Phoenix model, but it is lacking things like the tilting landing gear. That is a thing, and we'll actually bring on my Team USA here. If you give me a moment right here, I'll bring that one on frame, and we can do a more direct comparison of the two. And so yeah, here's the Team USA as well. You can see, you can see the color is very much different on these two, and I'd say this is probably a little bit more realistic. But if we look at the height, the Gemini might be a little bit taller, but they're pretty comparable. And the winglet, will bring them like this so you can get a comparison of the winglet. I mean, the winglet is, I think, the biggest difference between the two in terms of the mold. This one is a whole lot sharper than this one. And like I said, I don't really know which one is more realistic. I'm inclined to think that the Phoenix model is more realistic in terms of the winglet, but like I said, I'm not entirely sure. It does look a little bit weird on the Gemini one, if I'm being totally honest, but like I said, I don't know for sure. Also, I just noticed the nose, a lot more pointed on the Gemini one than on the Phoenix. So that's also pretty interesting. But yeah, those are the main differences, I'd say. And then, in terms of everything else, they're pretty much the same. And I think they're both good options for 330-900 Neos. They're the only options too, because the Gemini Jets JC mold, they use the same thing, and then there's Phoenix, and I don't believe anyone else has a 330 Neo mold. So you're pretty much stuck between these two. So I think they're both good options, and I think they'll both make whatever airport look very nice. So yeah, I'm glad that I got that model, because it will be very much useful at MSP, so I won't have to use this model all the time in the special livery. Now we have the regular livery to go with it, so that will be very nice right here, and another Delta widebody added to the collection. But with that being said, that will conclude our video today. So thank you all for checking this one out, and I will see you tomorrow. As always, good night. Auf Wiedersehen.